Hello, hello, hello! Welcome to my Thursday stream. I'm Jochen, the Monospace Mentor. Welcome, everyone. Let's go through who's in chat. Sir Puffin, welcome. The most elaborate YouTube name I've ever seen. The jeu cette fois tu ne vas pas me voler le compte. Wow, that's a mouthful. Welcome. Then we have Frackberg and Only Element. Welcome, everyone, and welcome, of course, to everyone who's lurking as well. Today it's going to be a live coding stream. I did pronounce it correctly. Thank you. I really took an effort. Yeah. So. Can you tell us what it means? My French is really not that great, and yeah, I'd be curious. So after many co-working streams and stuff, I decided to do another live coding stream today where I'm going to share what I'm working on, which is mostly SRE stuff. My usual work, actually, as a CTO at a managed hosting company. And so I'll try and get a few things done that I want to get done by the end of the week, and we'll see where it takes us. It's a lot of different stuff. It's also a few WordPress plugin things, which is pretty pedestrian, but needs to be done, as everyone knows who's running a WordPress-based website. And yeah, it's also part of my work, in this case, part of my work as Monospace Mentor, because it's about my own website, monospacementor.com. Only Element says, thanks to introducing me to Universal Blue Project, installed Aurora a week ago, and I already started contributing in GitHub. This morning installed it on my work laptops. It's contagious. Yesterday, the Fedora conference, Flock to Fedora, started, and it started out with a talk about the whole Universal Blue Project. Let me grab that for you, because I just posted it to the Discord yesterday. Copy link, here we go. And by the way, if you'd like to join us on our Discord, feel free to do so. Oh, you did watch it. Okay, so for everyone else, I'll share it in chat. This is the video link. And yeah, it's a very interesting talk about the whole motivation and the state of the Universal Blue project, and I think it's absolutely great. Sajid says it means, well, I guess you are not Sajid, I guess. You won't steal my account again because a person or multiple people stole 3 of my old accounts. Oh, wow. Okay. That's bad. First novel, hello to you too. Take care of your account credentials. Don't get your account stolen. Use 2FA. So, where is my stuff here? Okay. Yeah, so things that I intend to do today is work on a few more Prometheus checks for our databases. I need to do some plugin updates. I need to update the managed Redis that we are running for our customer dashboard on Heroku. All kinds of stuff that needs to be done. Yeah, we'll see what else pops up. I have a few things on my list, and as always, don't let this become a 3-hour monologue. I'm not the monologue mentor. So pop into chat if you have any questions or if there's something that you'd like to share. This is an interactive show after all. So I guess that being said, let me get set up with my dev environment here, and let me pick a task on which I'm going to work first. I guess we'll actually start with the health checks, and that means I need to get this project on my screen. Prometheus monitoring. MySQL basic health checks. So the things that I need to work on is the MySQL open files and open tables limits. Okay. Ulasnaba says, well, I guess I could share my latest shader toy. Quite simple, but satisfied with the result. Your shader toys are always amazing. I don't have the expertise to even judge if they're simple or not. Sometimes you post one of your shaders and say it's very simple, and yeah, it still blows my mind. So yeah, everyone check out Fullsnabel's shaders because they're always amazing. Shall we take a look? Yeah, let's do that. Let me see. So many browser windows. Let's take this one. I'll have to copy that link address. Let's open it here. Oh, that didn't work because I screwed up. Here we go. So let's get that on screen. Look at that. Well, as I said, it might be simple, but it still has great effect. I mean, when it comes to shaders for Snobble, you are, if you don't mind me saying, a star. This is nice. It's so soothing. All right, so I think I'll keep that running. Does it? Oh, look at that. Okay. Apparently, is that server load? No. It's 10%. What's the 61%? That's memory, right? Yeah. 61% used and a load of 3.6. There's actually, 9%. I didn't even see the CPU load. Okay, yeah. All right, so no worries about the shader. And how am I going to work on the MySQL checks? I'll have to prepare that because I think I need to set up the session first. And okay, that looks good. Yeah, I was confused for a minute because I saw my stats at the bottom of my screen and it said something like 62%, and I wasn't sure if that was CPU load, but it's memory usage. CPU load is at 9% at the moment, and that's mostly because of OBS and stuff. So you're right. Shaders run on the graphics card, and the 3060 should have enough power to do OBS and a little bit shaders on the side. Okay, so I'll prepare this. We also need another link that I need to grab from different browser. No worries, I'll share that as soon as I'm set up. There we go. Okay, I think that should do the trick. Let me hop over here, and so here we have a few JSON files. Excuse me. Let's grab something to drink first. And these JSON files are definitions for Prometheus checks. Our infrastructure is completely automated using Chef, and we've built our own cookbook for deploying Prometheus, and Prometheus is supposed to run different checks from the metrics that it collects automatically. And as you can see, there are a few basic checks for file system stats and also MySQL stats. And I'm going to extend these MySQL stats by a few more, by a few more checks, actually. So if you take a look at one of these checks, why not open it in Z? I'm trying out different IDEs at the moment. And let me see, that should work. And if you take a look at, for example, MySQL connections, you can see, okay, the rule is of type alert. We group these rules in different groups. Different groups get executed in different frequencies. MySQL checks, for example, get executed a little bit more frequently than our basic checks because it doesn't really make sense to for example, check the file system every 10 seconds or something. If it runs full, you'll probably see that as just as well if you run those checks in a 60-second periods. RJ, welcome to the stream. What desktop environment are you on? It looks nice. It's GNOME, actually. I'm running Bluefin as my distribution, the Universal Blue variant of Fedora Silverblue, and Bluefin has GNOME as its default desktop environment. I've just added a few GNOME extensions that make it a little bit prettier. For example, the dash to panel extension that puts everything cleanly in that bottom panel down there, where I have all my status information and as well the information which applications I have available and which ones are running. So it's GNOME actually, and yeah, I'm oscillating between GNOME and i3. It's nice to have a tidying window manager. On the other hand, all these integrations that GNOME has built in, where I can enable tail scale with a simple click or things like that. Of course, that's possible with other window managers as well, but it's never as convenient as it is with something that gets maintained continuously like GNOME. I'll definitely check out KDE as well. Eventually, there's no way around that because I'm just curious. But so far, I'm pretty happy with GNOME. So let's get back to Z here. The most important thing here is the expression. That's a PromQL expression that simply evaluates a bunch of metrics. And in this case, where it's about the MySQL connections, we take the MySQL global status threads connected, the currently running threads, over 1 minute. And we take the max over time from that. So it's a sliding window of a minute worth of metrics here, in this case of the MySQL global status threads connected, and we divide the maximum of threads connected in the last minute. We divide that by the global variable max connections, which is the connection limit, and if the current connections divided by the maximum divided by the connection limit is greater than 80%, then we get an alert, which is pretty nice. I think it's very convenient that Prometheus gathers both the current global status of the database as well as settings for global variables. Max connections, of course, usually doesn't change. So that's basically a constant value, but by having these MySQL configuration settings available as metrics as well, allows us to do this percentage calculation, and that makes it very easy to say, okay, whatever our connection limit is, we are above 80%. And so this can be applied to any of our databases, regardless of the actual max connection setting each database has. And when that's the case, then we'll trigger an alert with the severity page. I think I just recently changed the severity names to something more useful. And that should also be rolled out. So page is not really great. I think that should be critical in this case. And then we have an annotation here that helps with how the alert gets phrased. The alert is then sent as MySQL to any connections greater at 80% and the instance name, which is basically the host name of the database. And we'll use this as a template to also add the same kind of alert rule for checking the open table and open files limits, because those are also very important to monitor on a MySQL database. Let me just grab something else. Hey Moo, how you doing? Welcome to the stack. So, maybe it makes sense to also check for the severity settings as well. Yeah, I'll have to do that privately because I think that's in the same file that has all our API keys. So give me just a second to check something. So, Prometheus Alert Manager. We are routing. Okay, we are still matching for severity page. Okay, so yeah, I remembered that wrongly. We still use page as the trigger to pass it on to, in this case, iAlert, which we use to alert our on-call engineers. Well, then let's go ahead and check how to do things with table limits. I found a nice collection of Prometheus alerts, which are already predefined here. So let me see, more down here. Here's the MySQL section. We have too many connections, high prepared statements, high threads running. I think that's identical to what I have here with threads running over 1 minute. Yep. No, that's threads connected. Do we? Oh, yeah, threads running is in there as well. And okay, there's no example for open table, so we'll have to check how that works. Let me think how I'll do that. Who's getting local ads? How do I get these metrics? I guess we could use the metrics explorer. Let me log in to our testing. Prometheus server. Let's see, MySQL. First I'd like to get the open tables setting, and that was, what did that look like? That should still be open here. Global variables. Global variables. global variables, open. There is no open tables, just open files. I mean, we can always start with open files limit. And yeah. So I'll duplicate this file, rename it to MySQL open files. That of course needs to be corrected here as well. And then we'll use global variables. Open files limit. And then of course we also need the open files. That's hopefully global status. Open files, brilliant. Which isn't too much. 7 from 100,000, so we're not quite at 80% here. But that's our testing environment. So global status open files over 1 minute divided by global variables open files limit. And then instead of too many connections, we'll say open files more than 80% of open files or file descriptors. I mean, yeah. Okay, that's the open files limit. I'm still interested in the open tables. There is a global status open tables and opened tables. That's curious. What's the difference here? Open tables, that's 1024 and 1019. And opened tables. No, that's open files, not... That's very different. Oh, okay, I guess that's a counter, judging from the values that are here, which are covered by my face. That probably is... yeah, it's a counter. It's just... went from 714 to 301,715. So that's a counter, and the open tables, that's the current status, and that's around 1,000 here. Okay, so global status open tables. We'll duplicate this file, rename it to open tables. We'll reflect that in the name here as well. So global status open tables does exist. What's the corresponding global variable though? There is no open... Wait. Global variables, performance schema, max table handles, max table instances, max table lock stat. Interesting. That's a value of -1, which might mean unlimited. And I don't think the open table setting on our databases is set to unlimited. That wouldn't be wise. Only Element asks, you have said Flatpak installed? No, I haven't. That's actually the Z... is it an app image? I use the curl bash installation method, so I'm not really sure what it actually did install. I wasn't aware that there is a Flatpak. If there's a Flatpak now, I'll definitely install it this way next time. Let me check that. That's interesting. Explore Z. Oh, there is a Flatpak. That's amazing. Okay, I'll replace that later. Because usually I do use Flatpaks for my GUI applications. Thanks for the hint. Yeah, I'm trying out different IDE approaches so I can compare with my NeoVim experience, which has been 90% okay, but it's as always, it's the remaining 10% that are bothering me. And so I'm trying out Z, and I'm also trying out RubyMine if I do more deep Ruby work. Now, are we sure there's no other variable that can tell me how many tables we have? I guess since this is a fuzzy search, I could search for variable table. Well, nothing that jumps out at me. The theme that I'm using, as always, is Dracula. It's very purplish. What I'm looking for is the metric that tells me how we configured the max open tables limit. I have the currently open tables, that is in the global status, but there's no obvious related value in the global variables namespace, which is confusing me. Let's see. MySQL open tables limit. What would we have to look for? I'm not talking about maximum open files of tables. No, the number is not limited. Wait. Let's see. Table open cache is related to max connections. Am I chasing a red herring here? Is there even a open tables limit? There isn't one, right? Oh, I thought there was one. But there is no limit. It's just limited by the number of open file descriptors, for which we already have a check now. And the only thing that a high number of open tables will affect is the table open cache, because once you cross a specific threshold here, MySQL won't be able to use the table open cache anymore. It'll basically keep purging the table open cache, or it's not purging actually, but yeah, the cache won't be will be ineffective, and so your performance will go down because it always has to open tables again and get table handles and stuff like that. So it'll be much more busy with housekeeping once you exceed the table open cache's capabilities. Okay, so there is no direct check that we could use for the open tables setting, but how about the open table open cache itself? Mu asks, what limit do you want to check for? Actually, I'm not sure anymore. I thought there was a limit for the open tables, but that is not the case. But now I'm thinking, is there some way we could check the open table metric and determine if it's healthy or not? And that's probably related to, or more on the table open cache side of things. So let's simply explore what the table open cache tells us. For example, there is table open cache misses or overflows. These are metrics that we could use. Table open cache misses, for example, could be if that keeps increasing a lot, it could be a sign that our table open cache is too small. As you can see on this test database, the counter isn't increasing. But I'm not sure how I would phrase the query in this case. I would probably need to get something equivalent to the first derivative of this counter, and if that, or even the second derivative, if that is increasing or if that is high, then higher than a specific value, then I could alert on that. But that'll need a little bit of research, I guess. Mo says you could take a look at the Testing 13 Grafana dashboard and look for valuable metrics to alert on. That's also a good idea, actually. Thank you. Yeah, a predefined Grafana dashboard for MySQL is always a good source. And I'll make that part of my research that I'm going to do later. So for the time being, we'll discard the open tables check, or rule. It's not a check. Oh, well, it is kind of a check. I keep using terms from more classic monitoring systems. So we have open files, that's great. Now, I'll quickly check my task list here. We did have an open tables limit in our old monitoring system, so maybe it's a good idea to actually take a look at what we're doing there. And then we'll need another check for the table locks waiting value. All right. Let me do a quick check behind the scenes what we are doing with the MySQL. Where did we put that? Ah, that's in one of the cookbooks, isn't it? RubyMine doesn't want to open my project. That is strange. Let's try and open this one again. Doesn't open. That is strange. Is it because of the Ruby version? Yeah, 3.1.5 is not installed. Well, we can always fall back to NeoVim, can't we? And I guess I can share that. So this is the repository of our info as code of our chef cookbooks. And I wanted to take a look at MySQL. And there is a MySQL FryStale cookbook, which is an application cookbook we wrote ourselves. And I guess there's the monitoring recipe, but that one doesn't have anything about checks. Was that hidden in the Sensu Freestyle cookbook, maybe? Yes, there is a MySQL server. But all we have here is, again, we were using the check MySQL plugin for Nagios in here. So I guess I'll go ahead and see Nagios check MySQL. That's probably this one. Open files, open tables. So there is something in there for open tables. Let's check. Open tables. Goes through the metric units and the metric counters and stores them. Where does it check them though? So this is a replication check. Not interested in that at this point. Set thresholds. Actually, I'm not really sure what's happening here. What does it even check in here? We're grabbing the open tables. Metric. How about the thresholds? Set thresholds, mathematical warning, critical. Okay. my threshold. I guess you'd have to pass in everything that you want to check for. But I don't see where this happens in the code. It's all a little bit obscured, obfuscated. Let me see. Can we find examples how this plugin is actually used? I did search for check MySQL. Okay. That's this one. How are we using this? We are just passing in username and a password. Okay. So we might actually not even use that? How did it get into my list in the first place? Are we setting any... This is strange. So I'm not even sure we are actually... if we were monitoring this with Senso in the first place. Okay, we'll drop that for the time being. And which other metric did we want to check? Let me get back to my list here. Table locks awaiting. Is there something in here? Okay, let's see what we have in terms. There's also locked connects. Okay, down here there's no real lock anymore. That's just too fuzzy. Let's see what we need to monitor. Table locks. Locked tables are identified using the show open tables command. It displays all locked tables. All open tables in the table cache are listed, but the in use column indicates if the table is locked. Okay. Percona Community Forum should also be a good source. If you want to monitor logs for InnoDB tables manually, you can check show engine InnoDB status, and then we'll have transactions, logs, and log weights. You can check for transactions in log wait state and check for how long it's logged using the timestamp in transaction wait started of information schema InnoDB TRX table. This seems to be a little bit more complex, to be honest. Interesting. Those are probably counters, which logs could be assigned immediately and other logs that had to wait. That's not too interesting because it doesn't reflect the current situation. But InnoDB table logs that could be an interesting metric. That's a global variable though, so that's also not too helpful. Let's take a look at global log. InnoDB row log time, that's interesting. InnoDB row log weights. Row log current weights. That's an interesting metric. Row log current weights. Table logs would also be interesting. Again, I'm not too sure what I'm actually looking for. Didn't we just have an ad break? That's strange. Nope, doesn't look like it. Okay. So let's see. The InnoDB monitor, creatable InnoDB monitor, engineering that will continually output InnoDB status to your hour log. Yeah, okay, we don't need that. But it doesn't tell us more than simply, yeah, do InnoDB status. That doesn't really help. Show open tables. I don't think there's a metric that I could use out of the box. Maybe that would require a little bit more custom querying of the performance schema, things like that. Hey Balthazar, welcome back yourself. Good morning, how's it going? All right. I guess those checks aren't as important because they are very rarely causes for concern. And so I'll postpone that a little bit. Late night last night? Doesn't sound nice. Okay, so yeah, I'm trying to add a few more checks to our Prometheus alerting rules, so I get alerted when something misbehaves in our databases. So far, I've added one check, but the other metrics that I tried to analyze here aren't as helpful as I was hoping. So, hey man, get a coffee and relax if your last night wasn't too great. Take care of yourself. King CJ, welcome to the stack. I am aware of the Pekana monitoring and management tools, but Those are more standalone, aren't they? Oh, there are Grafana and Prometheus? Let me check that out. Let me give that a look. I was aware that they... Yeah, I guess... Open source database monitoring, observability, and management tool. The thing is, I don't want to run a second monitoring infrastructure on the side of our central one, if I can avoid it. However, maybe I can actually grab something from their settings. Yeah, that's definitely Grafana. Query analytics. Okay, that's specific queries. Interesting. And then there's alerting, and that's also from Grafana. Okay, yeah, that's of course a valid approach. And then they have advisor checks. Interesting. Yeah, maybe I should get that set up and or take a look at the source code for that. But that's a little bit more research. Nothing that lends itself for a live stream. So yeah, my research list is growing while my to-do list doesn't make much progress, I'm afraid. We'll see. Yeah, you're right. Being able to steal a few Prometheus queries would be nice. Okay, so I guess I'll get the open files check in place. That's at least one addition I was able to make so far. Okay, we need to update that repository. Haven't had this error message so far. I made a few changes to my SSH configuration, so I'll have to try that later. Okay. Well, I guess we'll change tasks. I can update this task here. To in testing. All right, what else do we have to do? Oh yes, upgrade Heroku Redis for our dashboard. Okay, so let's check that. For that I need my email. Let me first check if I need some kind of credentials before I share my screen. Let's see. Upgrade using prepare the upgrade. System is prepared. Interesting. Okay, I've never seen that Heroku has a multi-step upgrade where you first create a maintenance and then you execute the maintenance. That's interesting. Let's see. Ah, that's an in-place upgrade, okay. Jerome, welcome to the stack. How's life? Thanks for joining us. At the moment, I'm preparing a Redis upgrade on Heroku for first our staging application and then for the production application. Maybe I'll do the production application later today when we don't have as many customers on there. Okay, let me try that with our staging application. Yeah, so far I didn't have any huge incentive to migrate off Heroku because it's our application is running there nicely, and everything else would create additional work. And I don't actually see much of a reason to focus on that at the moment. Never change a working system. So let me see, that's oh, I don't even have the Heroku toolbelt available in here. That's there's also no Heroku toolbelt. Let's see. No Heroku toolbelt whatsoever. How are we going to play this? I could try and install it from Homebrew. That shouldn't be a problem. There is no homebrew formula for the Heroku toolbelt. Ah, that it gets installed as a cask usually. Okay. I think I'll try and run that in my toolbox container. So let me go here. guess I'll install it using npm. We strongly recommend using one of the other installation methods if possible. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Sorry for not being able to share what I'm doing, but well, I might be able to share this. Oh no. So let's see what no Redis instance is found. I'm pretty sure there is one though. I have to switch back to checking things. We have Heroku data for Redis. Is that the right thing? Heroku data for Redis version here. My retreat was great, yeah. Just to answer Balthasar's question, what he's referring to is that I spent Monday and Tuesday doing a personal retreat, which is basically taking myself out of everything, so taking time off work and also of family, basically, which at the moment was very, very convenient time because my family is over in Germany visiting family anyway, so that thing was taken care of already, and so I only had to take one day off work as well because Monday was a bank holiday, and so I took 2 days off basically to do some kind of a reflection on the recent months so far. Usually I try and do this personal retreat every quarter, However, after the retreat end of last year, in November, I think, I simply didn't find the time. Yeah, this was long overdue, doing that in August. And I sat down and basically did a retrospective on the year so far in terms of how am I doing in terms of work, how am I doing in terms of relationships, in terms of finances, in terms of personal growth, all these aspects of my life, and wrote stuff down where I'm happy and where I'm not as happy. And on the second day, I focused on a specific question. In my case, the question was, why don't I seem to be able to do all the things that I want to do, and what could I do differently? And that basically turned into why am I trying to do all these things in the first place. In my last retreat, I more focused on the how can I do as many things as possible without stuff suffering, including myself. And this time I changed my angle a little bit and asked myself, so why am I even doing things like running Monospace Mentor on the side of my daily business and things like that? And that was quite a good question, to be honest. And I spent a few hours thinking about that, and we'll see how it'll affect my daily schedules and things like that. But it definitely was enlightening, and I'm very happy that I finally found the time to take care of these things. So, why is Heroku asking me by email to update my Redis, which definitely does exist, and then the CLI tool tells me, well, there isn't an Redis add-on in the first place. What else can we do with the CLI to get a little bit insight? Let's see. Let me close that. Heroku data for this maintenance. Managing Heroku data for Redis using the CLI. So there's Redis info. Let's see what Redis info can tell us. So this one is listed. Oh, I didn't. Oh, okay. Yeah, now I can see what I did wrong. Give me just a second to copy this information, and then we can switch over here and unveil this and put myself in the corner. Yeah, I should, of course, not take this here literally. Redis add-on name is, of course, the name of my Redis add-on. So that should work. To proceed, type F7 dashboard API staging. Well, let's do this. Okay, that didn't actually trigger a maintenance because it's a mini instance which gets upgraded immediately. I guess I should be able to get more information by using Redis info or something like that, and in case this reveals anything sensitive, I'll do that hidden. Preparing, creating... Oh, it says creating maintenance event for version upgrade. Okay. Which can take a little bit of time according to the documentation. I guess we'll have to wait a little for this maintenance to be created. And let's see. Yeah, that's just Redis info, I guess. Now let's go back to the upgrade. So I'll have to wait for the maintenance to be created, which I do with data maintenance info. Redis data maintenance info? Is that right? Heroku. Oh, it's just and maintenances. It's data maintenances info. So that's a more general thing, I guess. No, I did not mean that. Huh? Heroku. Data maintenances. Ah, I need to upgrade the Heroku CLI, I guess. Okay. So let's find out how this works. Heroku tool belt. Update. Keeps itself and its plugins up to date automatically. I'm not sure how this was freshly installed, I thought. Which yeah. This is all very confusing. I'm pretty sure I just installed it using its standard process. Heroku update. Let's try that. Heroku update. Okay. Still doesn't know that. Oh, install the data maintenance CLI plugin. Okay. Jeez, that's really complicated. Heroku plugins install data maintenance. Wowzers. They don't want you to install the Heroku CLI using NPM, but all these plugins get installed via NPM. That's really strange as well. Ooh, okay. This looks a little bit more promising. Okay. That means we have a maintenance for Redis. Scheduled for tonight. No. Wait, 2022. That's long over. Stuff's completed. So there is no maintenance. What about my Redis now? Let's see. Oh, the upgrade has been performed automatically. Okay. Okay, so that's been done, and I'll do the production upgrade later. All right. So welcome everyone, I'm Jochen, the Monospace Mentor, and I'm doing a bit of a mixed bag of work tasks that I have to do. I just updated the Redis instance for our staging application, a Rails application that we are running on Heroku, and later I'll do the production upgrade in the same way. But it's a little bit too early in the day to do this kind of disruptive thing. Let me check what else I want to do. I guess I can get rid of these two emails now. Now, what else do we have to do for today? I did a little bit of MySQL basic health checks. We did upgrade the staging instance. I'll do that later. And then we'll have to update a few WordPress plugins. Okay, that's going to be interesting. Let me open a new Tmux session. Only Element asks, how did you manage to install Dracula on Z since I am affected by this? There seems to be an issue. Okay, let me take a look at the issue. And get it on screen. Oh, yes, the transparency. Yeah, I remember having this transparent or partly transparent window. That was quite annoying. I was able to fix that basically with these two settings here, by actually using the experimental.theme overrides and setting color codes for background and title bar background that don't have a an alpha value or that have full opacity. Here, in this case, I set it to FF, and in this case, I left it off completely. And yeah, I'll how can I share that in an easy way? You know what? That is actually a nice idea, to create a new entry. Oh, thank you. Otherwise, I would have created an entry for Z in my wiki and published that, but I guess this is a faster way to do things. So let me actually go and create a paste bin here. Monospace mentor. Disable transparency in sets. Oof. Dracula theme. And I guess we're talking about JSON here. Do I have to set that to JavaScript? There's no explicit JSON. I guess so. So let's copy this. Delete after. One day, I guess this is ephemeral, okay. Yeah, that worked well enough. Here you go. I guess my title bar still gets transparent. Maybe that's because I didn't add the FF here? Nope, that still happens. So there's another setting probably that I need to check, but the transparent title bar when the window is unfocused didn't annoy me too much, so that was fine. Now, where were we? I'll close a few tabs here. The plugins, yeah, the website plugins. So I'm a little bit inconvenienced by the fact that I'm deploying my WordPress code using Git, which means I can't actually use the auto update feature in WordPress. I can't make any changes to my code that is running on the application server, and So I try to find a way to not have to download and update every plugin manually, which of course is perfectly possible. I simply go into WordPress, check which plugins need to be updated, then I download the update. I delete my current plugin on the disk, unzip the update, commit the change, and push it to production. But that's of course still pretty tedious because even committing it with the version number always requires me to check what the version number of the new plugin version is and things like that. So yeah, that's quite an inconvenient process. So I tried to get the WordPress CLI running, and I found a way to do that using Docker, and I already forgot how I did it. Good thing is that I tend to document stuff. So let me quickly take a look at where I actually did document this. I mentioned my wiki earlier, and there's a good chance that I documented it on my wiki, which I actually did. Let me see if this actually works. What did I do? Oh. Accidentally closed the window. Okay, I need to run the database first. Okay, there's a container already on there. Podman run. Podman start, right? Okay, so the WordPress plugin, WordPress CLI does work now. And so let's see, there are a few updates. So I should be able to simply go here and say plugin update activity hub. That's 310. And that worked. And it did actually update the activity pub plugin, which worked nicely. Okay, so let me create a new window here where I go into the plugins directory directly. That way I can actually see which plugins got updated. And that means I can simply go ahead and say updated activity pub 3.1.0. And that's that. Now let's go back and try the plugin list. Okay, and have to do that from window 1. Okay, Bunny CDN 2217. I'm doing it plugin by plugin because I'd like to commit each one separately. Next, Events Manager. But you can see how much easier this is than having to download everything from the web by navigating my own website and then to the WordPress website and stuff like that. So that's nice, and all I had to do was basically find out how to actually map my directories to volumes and get the correct user permissions, and that worked nicely, so I can actually do this. One thing that I want to see is how does this... Okay, so my user owner my owner information here has changed because of the user that runs inside of the Podman container, but that shouldn't be a problem. So that's Events Manager. (652). Then we'll have MailPoet. That's a good thing. It's just the MailPoet plugin that needs to be updated, not the MailPoet Premium plugin. The Premium update is a paid plugin that I would have to download manually anyway. There is no way to get it using WP CLI. And then we have Paid Memberships Pro and WordPress SEO. Okay, all the stuff that can be downloaded directly. So next thing is going to be MailPoet. But as I said, Paid Memberships Pro is how I used to run the membership management for my makerspace back in the day. Good to see it's still around. Yeah, it's still alive and kicking. They are very much alive. There are regular updates and they do regular tutorial videos on YouTube and stuff like that. So yeah, the Pro team is on the ball, definitely. That means... no. Wait. Yeah, I already committed MailPoet, which means paid memberships pro is actually the next one. Oh, wait. Oof. Wait. What am I even doing? Paid memberships pro. You had some middleware to tie it into your electronic door lock system. That's brilliant. Cool. Memberships Pro 3.1.3. Okay, and finally, I think. Yep, that's WordPress SEO. And finally, let's deploy everything using a simple git push. And that's it. That's that task done as well. This was probably a third of the time I would have had to spend doing this manually. Let's see. Well, I guess that's basically it. Everything else that's on my list for today is stuff that's not too interesting because it's more housekeeping stuff. So I think we'll end the stream a little bit early today, and I'll get back to my housekeeping stuff offline. I'll be back tomorrow with my office hour at 2 p.m. Irish time, which is 1 p.m. UTC. If you have any questions about SRE, DevOps, system administration, software engineering, all these things, then drop by tomorrow and ask questions. If you are already a member of the server room, which is my community of practice, then you can also already post questions on the forum there, and I'll pick them up for tomorrow. If you're not yet a member, I'll invite you to the server room. Membership fees are very moderate, and you'll get a lot back. Check out the serverroom.sh to get all the details. I wonder why the image didn't appear, but yeah, I'll check that later. Yeah, okay, so that's it for today, and I hope to see you soon. Until then, take care.